Powered by Riverside FM.
Spin the wheel, make the deal.
It's
Welcome
Halloween, baby.
to another edition of Better Than Broadway. It's episode 7. Woo! Episode 7.
Spin the wheel, make the deal.
Yeah. Spinning the wheel, making the deal since 1989. We are having Halloween Havoc recap tonight.
That was so fun.
The seasonal, annual WCW pay-per-view that started back in 1989 has finally found its way to NXT for the third year in a row, maybe fourth year in a row. I'm not really sure. It's 3 or 4.
They did it up. Like it was Halloween like incarnate on a wrestling show. I really liked it.
They crushed it. They're doing everything right. The stage is all set. They've got the wheel. They really do it right. And you have to give it.
But did they spin the wheel?
Yes, they spun the wheel. So they spun the wheel on NXT 2 weeks ago when Grayson Waller had Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez in the ring for their little thing. So they spun that wheel, and that's when they had the weapons match. And then last night on the pre-show, they spun the wheel for Grayson Waller and Apollo Crews, and that's when they came in with the casket match, which, by the way, was a fabulous match. And we will get into all those matches as we go along. But first and foremost, happy spooky season, buddy.
Happy spooky season to you too, man. Halloween's one of my favorite times of the year.
Mine too,
just because like there's no gifts. It's just like you just gotta have fun and go to parties and dress up. And who doesn't like that?
Yep.
But I will say we are minus Justin today. He is dealing. He's just feeling under the weather, and he doesn't want to go if he's not 100%. So I totally get that.
Justin, we love you. Feel better, buddy.
Jack feel better. Dude, that's a pretty mangly eye on that thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he got stabbed in the eyeball.
He totally got stabbed.
Yeah. So my daughter and I made pumpkins. We carved pumpkins last night, and we finished them today. And
adorable.
It's all good fun, You go out and you pumpkin patch. You grab a pumpkin, you bring it home, you gut it, and then you do things with it. It's too much fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's pumpkins are grown just to be slaughtered. It's hard life.
Yeah, it's all vegetables.
Same thing for Christmas trees.
Yeah,
a holiday season that revolves around death.
I know, death and rebirth, except for
rebirth.
Easter's rebirth, but we'll worry about Easter later.
But, a couple days before that, it's all about death.
We're gonna get to it. So we are getting into Halloween Havoc. Again, one of my favorite shows of the year. I think it ranks up there for me with the Royal Rumble personally. But
I don't know. The Royal Rumble is such a unique experience. It's hard to compare anything. It's hard to compare WrestleMania to Royal Rumble.
That's true.
Because in like a single match, you have so many people in the ring. And like I remember years ago when Edge came back, but before that it was the Women's Rumble. And, Bianca Belair was coming up from NXT and was like, all of a sudden she's throwing girls over the ropes. And you're like, whoa, hold on. She's getting this is looking really good. Yeah. And that was a moment that I noticed, like, this chick, she's got it. She has got it.
Bianca Belair, who in my opinion has surpassed Charlotte Flair in stardom, but superstardom as far as I'm concerned. This is a woman who just has it all. But more about Bianca a little bit later. But as far as like the echelon of sports entertainment premium live events go,
sports entertainers, are we about to talk about Chris Jericho?
We will talk about Chris Jericho. Would you like to talk about Chris Jericho on Dynamite first, or would you like to do this Halloween Havoc thing? What do you want to do?
I'd say let's end with Havoc because it's the big piece of the pie. Save it for later.
Okay. So, I'll cue you in on this. So we're going back to Dynamite on Wednesday night, AEW Dynamite. Chris Jericho, who is now the Ring of Jericho, the Ocho.
The Ocho.
Eight-time world champion. This time he is the Ring of Honor world champion, which is a title that had eluded him all of his career. It's the only one he hasn't won.
Well, I mean, like, are we kind of like NXT here, or like?
I mean, I think of all the top titles in the world. I mean, you've got 5 or 6 basic, big, in my opinion, big world titles. You've got AEW, you've got WWE,
New Japan,
which you can blend WCW in with that one. So you got AEW, WWE, you've got New Japan, you've got Ring of Honor, you've got Impact. Those to me are the top.
Does he
5.
have an Impact title?
He never had the Impact title because he's never been to Impact. But
I mean,
the company he's been in, he has won the World Championship because he is motherfucking Chris Jericho.
He is a walk living legend. Like, dude, the man, constantly reinvents himself. He basically walks on golden, just the rainbow road, whatever you want to call it. Just he everything he touches turned to gold, and which is why I love like his faction, because like,
sure,
every other buddy in that faction is learning and being mentored. I mean, Jake Hager, I think he needs to find a new gimmick because we don't see him ever.
Yeah,
either that or dude, pick MMA. Like, you're a beast. Go do it.
He should be trucking people.
He should.
But I mean, this is again with Jericho. This is the 4th or 5th iteration of Jericho since he joined AEW.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 5th or 6th iteration of Jericho since 2019 when he battled Tanahashi for the U.S. title in New Japan as the Painmaker. So yeah, I mean, god damn it, dude. He's just 52 or 53 years old. He keeps reinventing himself. He keeps himself fresh. He keeps himself relevant. I do love Chris Jericho, and you agree. I think we all agree
100%.
he's the best wrestler of our generation, probably of the last 25 years. But this topic they've got going on with him right now, with he's going to take out all of the old Ring of Honor champions one by one by one. I think it's brilliant, but at the same time, I worry that it's going to taint the legacy of what Ring of Honor was. Your thoughts?
So here's kind of where I fall a little short. Like, I never really watched Ring of Honor. I know about it. I know a little bit of its history, and I know that's where all of our greats come from. CM Punk came through there. Kevin Owens did, and all these amazing stars came out of it. I mean, it's the golden age of developmental. Yeah. And now that it's gotten bought by Tony Khan, it has a bit more, steam behind it, which is great.
Sure.
And let's boost it up. Let's not make it, the NXT of AEW. Let's make it something brand new.
Yeah. And I do love the fact that Tony bought Ring of Honor, because here's a company that I have a special place in my heart for, because I've done work for them in the past. And it's just like, Kerry Silkin, what a lovely man. He is the reason that we have Ring of Honor. He kept it going. He did what he did. And I like the fact that they're, when they had Claudio, win the title at, what was it, Double or Nothing?
I think so, yeah.
Or all
that was when that was my birthday weekend at Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. So they had him win the title there, and Kerry was involved. And then when Jericho was doing his thing, he got Kerry involved in the match with him and Claudio, and he shoved him and did everything. I mean, it's fun, but at the same time, I worry that they're going to taint the legacy of Ring of Honor. And that sounds kind of odd, but because it's wrestling. But
right. I mean, but no, but those things
really
are
hope,
important.
I really hope they do this justice. I really do.
I think the best way to do that justice would be like have Jericho tear through, a few of them, and then have like an OG guy, I don't know who that could be, come and just like kick his ass.
Yeah.
Like,
well, they're definitely planting some seeds here, because he's defeated Bryan Danielson, who is one of the most prolific Ring of Honor and pure wrestling champions.
But didn't he? Don't they both have? They're 1-1.
No, that was their third match, and now Jericho
so he won the rubber.
He's two out of 3.
He won the rubber. Okay.
He won the rubber. So, you take out Danielson, who was one of the most important Ring of Honor champions because he's the one that unified the titles. It was, I think it was Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness, the pure title and the world title, and Danielson merged those titles. And now, on Dynamite this Wednesday, he battled Dalton Castle, the Peacock.
Dude, this guy.
We love on the show. We love Dalton Castle. God,
he came out to Queen, to a remix of Queen. I was like, this is amazing. And then he walks in the ring on the boy. That's what they're called. The boys. They're back. And then he just it's so freaking cool and just so flamboyant. I love it. And and he's not I'm not a gay character. I'm just very androgynous. You don't know which way I'm going to go. And then he did the Ace Ventura, digging his crotch and then all of a sudden pull out the finger. When Jericho does that, dude, this is the thing. Jericho, whenever he's fake handshaking somebody, he always does the real tight, real awkward handshake. Let's shake on a business deal. And it's so, it's ridiculous, but I love it. Right. But and then Dalton Castle gives him the finger. And then in that match, the GAC is getting involved, and Castle summons his boys and sends them out like torpedoes, taking out the JAS. Did I call it the JAC? The JAS.
JAS, yeah.
Yeah, tomahawk missiles, just fire. Brilliant. I want to see more of Dalton Castle.
I do too. And I love the bit where they're just taking out Jake Hager and then they knock the hat off and then Jake just goes,
that's my hat.
And just starts taking everybody. I was like, I like this hat. So I hate to see that be Hager's gimmick because he's a legitimate badass. He is an MMA star. And it's just why not let this guy just go out and just crush people, the way they're doing with Wardlow. And then you've got Wardlow and Hager 6 months from now as you build those two. To me, that writes itself. I hate to see them take Wardlow and Samoa Joe and have them butt heads. To me, it's just not practical. But I feel like that's the road they're going down is you're going to have Joe turn heel on Wardlow, and then they've got to fight, and then they're going to unify the TNT and the Ring of Honor TV titles because the TNT title is a TV title and the Ring of Honor title. So, obviously they're going to try to merge some of these titles because they just got too many goddamn titles.
I remember when I was I'm a big fan of the trios titles, and Justin brought up, he's like, it's too many titles. I'm like, I agree, dude, you're right, man. You're right. I think the trios title is necessary because it brings an element of wrestling that is a gimmick and that have made it somewhat serious. But yeah, you're blending two different organizations into one.
Yeah.
To where are we having Ring of Honor guys with AEW guys and things like that, and that's fine. But make it cut and black. Make the AEW TV title legit. Yeah. But here's a question for you: why hasn't Hager gotten over?
I think that's the $10,000 question personally because. Here's a guy who...
Because he is a legit fighter with an all-American wrestling background.
The way wrestling is nowadays is that wrestling has evolved into this sports entertainment thing.
Whoa. So...
And
I set my microphone.
Yeah, go ahead. And I think that with the JAS, the Jericho Appreciation Society, obviously it's a play, it's a tongue-in-cheek, it's a denouement on... sports entertainers because a lot of them all came from WWE, and in the case of 2.0, they came from NXT with Danny Garcia, and that was when what was their name in NXT? 2. What was the name? What was the name of those two guys in NXT? You remember?
You do not ask me.
Okay, so anyway, but again, that's how memorable they were in NXT. Because they had this opportunity and it just didn't work because for whatever reason, I think when you have somebody as strong on the microphone as a Chris Jericho,
Yep.
and you associate yourself with him, you already have this modicum of credibility. Now, your ability to get yourself over, whether it's
But you got to do that yourself.
or heat, it's on you. Sammy Guevara got over because A, he could speak, B, he's fabulous in the ring, and C, he's got his wife. He and his wife are so just it's annoying, and you don't they're on TV, they're making out, and they're just being dastardly, and you want to rip these people.
They're the
apart.
people you love to hate. They're the people you love to hate.
Vicky Guerrero, X-Pac heat, and
oh my God,
freaking love it, and they just eat it up. So when you take those things into account, where is Jake Hager's X factor?
So let me
great worker,
great worker, but
where's his here?
Well, I think you said it, dude. You got to be good in the ring and almost more importantly on the mic.
You got to be able to talk. I mean,
got to be able to talk.
I know we talk about him all the time, but because why not? He's amazing. But like with MJF, he's a pretty good worker. I wouldn't say that he's brilliant. I wouldn't say he's on Jericho's level. I wouldn't say he's on AJ Styles' level. I wouldn't say that he's on Bret Hart's level or anyone like that who's one of these amazing workers, Shawn Michaels. But that man gets a stick in his hand and he makes you believe it. And when he and Regal did their spat on the other night,
brilliant.
I mean, couldn't stop. You couldn't stop. They just had you eating out of the palm of their hand with how MJF was trying to go to WWE and Regal said, try me later. And
he kept dangling that carrot. He kept dangling that carrot.
You're too young. And then you've got this story about the Frankenstein monster that is MJF that has been created by Regal. And I mean, goddamn, can you imagine what's going to happen when Moxley and MJF finally get in the ring at the next pay-per-view, and then Regal's sitting there? It's like his monster versus his champion, and we're gonna have
and
a match. It's a great. No,
story. So MJF should not win the title this match.
I want to hear this. Okay.
Yeah, MJF should not win. The title should be cost to him from Regal. And then they extend the storyline to where he just assaults every single one. And then you get this, you feel for him because it was taken away again. And the more someone goes through pain, the more people empathize. So good thing is everyone expects it. Everyone expects the title to go to MJF.
And I like
that. Pull one over.
I like
pull one over on him. And say Regal and have Regal fuck him over.
Yeah,
I don't like to cuss anymore on this program, but have Regal screw him over with the brass knucks. He's like, I just like hitting people. Yeah. Have him clock MJF.
But let me ask you that. Let me ask you this: that scenario, you start getting sympathy for the devil. Great song, by the way.
Yep.
But do we really want a babyface MJF, someone we feel sympathy for, someone we, are trying to get behind, or do we want the devil? Do we want this son of a bitch that's just so damn good and he knows it and we know it, or do we want baby MJF? What do we want out of him?
No, I think you Regal cost him the title.
Yeah.
And then MJF goes, just crazy. And does devil stuff to get back. He's like, you broke your own rules. Now you got to pay. And takes them out one by one, every single guy, including Regal. And then finally Moxley's got to step in. He's like, all right, kid, you got to be put down. You've gotten rabid. And that's when MJF just destroys him. And that's the thing. I would love to see a match like that just is over in 5 minutes. Okay. That makes you hate him. They don't give us a good match. Have MJF hit him with the dynamite ring. 5 minutes in, it's over.
Okay.
It would be brilliant. It would be so much heat. It would put him back in the heel. / the devil spot.
I like that. I do like that. Now that it's been a little more fleshed out, I like it. I like it. I think that's compelling television, and that's what we want. That's why we love wrestling, because it's compelling television. I mean,
it's storytelling, and it's so much of it is like, oh, MJF's back. They had to lure him back to get the to give him the title. So everyone expects it.
Yeah,
you pull the carpet out from under these people's feet not when they're expecting it.
Yeah, and that's gonna make you want to watch AEW long term. They need something to keep viewership right now, because with everything that's going on with CM Punk and the Bucks and Omega and Ace Steel, who just got released, they need something. And as great as Jon Moxley is, he can't carry that show forever. That guy needs a break. That guy needs a vacation. Break. He does. He had to leave his vacation to come back to work. I mean, goddamn. And then they hired his wife. Renee's on TV now. So,
well, at least they're together.
Yeah, no,
they're going to be traveling together.
I think it's great. He said in an interview a couple of weeks ago, he said they were living in Vegas and he was just living this excessive life and drinking and smoking and doing kind of crazy shit all day. And then when their daughter was born, they moved back to Cincinnati and he got sober, and everything about his life is just so much better now. And I think that's a huge testament to the kind of guy he is, because we're looking at this from a, glass half full perspective here. He's our champion,
Yep.
And he fell into this role out of necessity. I mean, he's the only guy that's solid. Everybody else is kind of waffly, but here's goddamn, Moxley, here's John Good, just being the best, because, what else choice does he have? It was just kind of thrust upon him, but he's making the best of it. He's making the most of it. And, I mean, he's fantastic. He's a lot of fun. He's me. He's just a regular guy who, I remember he said that he wanted to be the kind of wrestler that just walked in off a construction site and pulled off his shirt and went to work.
Well, he looks like that, at lunch. So
yeah. He just got on jeans and a pair of boots and a t-shirt. And he's just going out there, pulls his shirt off, and he just goes to work. And I mean, that's he resonates with us. Yep. And the fact that he's entertaining, he's good in the ring, and he speaks really well on the microphone. He's got all the shit. He's just checking all the boxes.
Check all the boxes.
Unfortunately, Jake Hager, as good as he is, he just does not have that one little box that he needs to get him from here to here. Great worker. Love Jake Hager. Think he was great when he was in WWE. Thought he was great when they put Dutch Mantel with him and named him Zeb Coulter. But I mean, you got so many opportunities that you just you gotta go with what you gotta go with, and the people who are over and the people entertained the most are going to be the champs.
Well, so, the thing is, you
go.
Are we saying Jake Hager does not know he needs to work on the mic? Do you think he's aware of this? I guess is my question.
I would think he would be aware, because he's got Jericho in his ear.
Okay. So why isn't, why aren't they giving him more spots to do that? Or why, I hope he's training, practicing, and then you're giving him some spots to have him talk some trash. All you need is one good insult.
Yeah.
To burn somebody.
I want to see that guy go out and just tear somebody up. Like, I really do. I really do. I think he's great, but
No, he is.
We gotta be objective here. We gotta be objective.
No. He is the cat's meow in the ring.
Yeah. So.
He is the bee's knees.
Yeah.
He is the shark's tooth, whatever we're gonna call it. I don't know.
Well, I think we've talked enough about AEW. How do you feel about SmackDown with Bray Wyatt?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch it.
Didn't watch it? Okay, no problem.
I watched. I had Dungeons and Dragons on Friday, and then I watched Rampage.
Okay, good.
So yeah, I'm a super nerd.
Okay, well, I'll just give you.
But how is Bray Wyatt doing?
So I'll give you a quick little beat on this. So last Friday night after Extreme Rules, Bray comes out in the ring and he's just speaking as Wyndham. He's speaking as Wyndham. He's speaking from the heart. He's telling everybody, that when he lost his job, he lost people that he loved. He lost Brody. He lost his way.
Yep.
But he feels like the fans really saved him because they were like, "Where's Bray? Where's Bray?" And on Twitter, "Where's Bray? Where's Bray?" So Wyndham Rotunda, who is the real name of Bray Wyatt, he comes out and he just tells everybody from the heart how he's doing, how he's feeling, and the crowd's clapping, the crowd's, really building him up. Thank you, Wyatt. Clap, 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 clap.
Mm-hmm.
And he's battling in the verge of tears. And just as he's about to just like break down in the ring, the lights go out. The shadowy figure comes on the screen.
Okay.
Named this week, by the way, which I won't give that just yet. But he gets on the screen and says, like, this is the world. This is the world you've built. This is the world you've built. And then show cuts to blank. And you're thinking to yourself, what the hell just happened? What did I just watch? And that was last week. This week, they've got him in a backstage pre-tape segment, and they're playing his theme song really quietly over what he's trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And as he gets more intense, the music gets more intense. And it's louder and louder and louder, and to the point where the theme song is just about drowning Bray out, who's now back
Love it.
character.
Love it.
And he's saying that, like, whatever circle he's in right now, he's gonna do whatever he's told to do, and he's gonna hurt some people. And then, as the show kind of goes, as it goes towards the end of the segment, it breaks away to the masked character who's Bray under a mask, and he just goes, "Howdy." So the character is Uncle Howdy, and he's another one of these characters that
Of Bray Wyatt.
Of Bray Wyatt, and I don't know necessarily if the Wyatt Six is going to be 6 individuals or 6, characters of Bray Wyatt, because you've got Wyndham, you've got Bray, you've got the Eater of Worlds, you've got the Fiend, you got Uncle Howdy, you've got the Sister Abigail, and then you've got the White Rabbit. So you've got 6 Bray Wyatt personas, kind of the way Mick Foley had his 3 faces. He had Mankind, Dude
Right.
Love, and Cactus Jack.
Oh, loved him.
Bray and Wyndham, who grew up in the industry because his father was a wrestler, his brother's a wrestler, and his uncle's a wrestler. He knew Mick Foley. He knew Cactus Jack. He knew Dude Love. He knew Mankind. He knows these characters. So, there's got to be something to all of this with him. And I kind of like the idea of them having him be a schizophrenic type, and a character of his kind of pops up here and there. But there's also talk of bringing in 2 ROH guys to be part of the Wyndham Six or the Wyatt Six, and 2 of those guys are Dutch and Vincent from Ring of Honor. Vince, I don't know if you watch Impact Wrestling or not, but Vincent is one of the guys that's part of Honor No More. He's the guy with all the dreadlocks. His name's Vinny Marseglia, and he's a lot of fun to watch. He reminds me a lot of Rob Zombie. He's got the dreadlocks and all the tattoos, and he's wild in the ring. But they're talking about bringing those 2 guys in to be part of the Wyatt Six, and I kind of like that idea because we need a Mercy the Buzzard, we need a Huskus, we need all these characters that were in the mind of Bray during the Firefly Funhouse days. So,
right.
I mean,
Yep.
There's so many different ways you can take this character and make him compelling. And he doesn't even have to get in the ring for 6 months. And no one will care.
No. If you have him send his minions to destroy people, I mean, that's essentially him doing it. Like,
I know. He doesn't even have to wrestle. You can just say, send this guy out, send that guy out, put Liv Morgan in there, put Alexa Bliss in there, put Karrion Kross in there, put Vincent, put Dutch, put Grayson Waller in there, whoever you want to put in there. It doesn't matter. As long as Triple H continues to allow Bray to run his own show, to write his own scripts, to do his creative which is something Vince really didn't let him do, and you just let him create, he's going to create magic because he's that goddamn talented and brilliant that he has created this own universe that he can put anywhere. You could go anywhere in the world and do this gimmick,
right?
And it would get over because this guy is just so good. He's that good.
Well, geez, Rob, like it's why don't you marry this guy?
Might.
Okay.
He's got JoJo. He's got a good looking wife, and I'm looking for one of those too someday.
Still dating around, ladies. If you're listening, Rob is single. I am not. I talked to my girlfriend Kate about this show, dude, and she watched the MJF promo and she was talking about it too. So
yeah, it was God.
We need to have Kate on here soon.
Yeah, we should. I'd love to get a woman's perspective on wrestling on our show.
Oh, she would love to do it. So we'll make that happen the next couple of weeks.
Well, buddy, I think we beat those topics to death. Are you ready for the meat and potatoes of the show?
Are you talking about the Havoc that is not yet Halloween, but
not yet Halloween? WWE's NXT brings you Halloween Havoc.
So is NXT basically Shawn Michaels' baby now?
Triple H, Shawn Michaels.
I mean, who would have thought DX would be running WWE? But it's it's pretty poetic.
I mean, they win. They win. Who would have thought 25 years later that these guys would be running the show? I sure as shit didn't. I remember
back in the 90s when it was Hunter Hearst Helmsley and he came out to like the Renaissance and he had the aristocratic garb. I'm like, this guy's going nowhere.
He came out to Beethoven's Ninth Symphony
for
6 months. And then he faced the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania, and the Ultimate Warrior
and beat him, right?
No-sells everything and just no-sold a pedigree, for Christ's sake. Just stood right up out of the pedigree, and just 30 seconds the match was over. It's crazy. So, but now the guy's running WWE. It's amazing.
Well, sounds like he won.
Yeah, he won. So, Halloween Havoc, this is the third or fourth iteration of NXT's version of Halloween Havoc, hosted once again by Shotzi Blackheart, and relative newcomer Quincy, who we just love. Quincy is great. How did you feel about Halloween Havoc?
As someone who as a whole, I thought it was great. It sang to me from like when I watched wrestling in the 90s of like everyone is trying to knock your socks off. That opening ladder match was awesome. And like, it's like watching college football players who are like, I know I got a shot at the NFL, put their ass on the line to do insane stuff that like you don't see people who are who are playing it safe, who are trying to keep their career going. And that's awesome, but also it's like, like you're willing to take more risks. Yeah. But it was absolutely fantastic. The ladder match for the North American Championship, awesome.
Awesome. And talking about that ladder match, you had 5 competitors in that match. You had Carmelo Hayes. You had Von Wagner, who is the son of Albert. You have Nathan Fraser, a newcomer who was trained by Seth Rollins. Oro Mensah, formerly Oliver Carter of NXT UK. And Wes Lee, former member of MSK and the Rascals back in Impact Wrestling. Without gilding the lily too much, beautiful match, a lot of great spots, this and that. At the very end of the match, Wes Lee and Carmelo Hayes are chasing up the ladder, and Wes Lee takes out Carmelo Hayes, climbs the ladder, and grabs the North American title. Something significant about this is Wes Lee has been known as a tag team competitor almost his entire career.
Not anymore.
Now, after the rough year he's had, his tag partner's gone from NXT. He's had a tough year, and he has now solidified himself as a singles competitor. They said on the broadcast this was his first ever singles title in any promotion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's massive. It's massive.
You know what? Kudos to Wesley, man. He earned it. He showed it. I'm just so glad that in that match, and I've watched when I watched Extreme Rules the other day, like when Bianca Belair is going in there and other people doing ladder matches. When you are climbing that ladder, and all of a sudden your legs are feeling like Jello, and you got to take your time and not fall and make sure the ladder's steady, and someone comes up to you and punches you in the butt cheek, that stuns your entire body. Like every time, Mandy not Mandy, but Bianca Belair or Bailey got punched in the butt.
Yeah,
whole system shuts down. They stop climbing, and thankfully they all avoided the butt shots, because if you get hit in the butt, you break down. You break down. They kept it on the shoulders, in the head, in the legs, but if you get hit in that butt cheek, man, you're done. You're done. You're done.
I mean, yeah. And just tremendous spots all match. I mean, they had the managers go. They had Trick and Rob Stone go in. And they're climbing up the ladder.
And he hit him with this dirty shoe. It was so good. It was so good.
I love it. But we love Wes Lee, and what a year it's been for this guy. He deserves it. Carmelo Hayes, in my estimation, is a future Hall of Famer. He's a future U.S. or Intercontinental Champion on the main roster. I love everything about that guy. He breathes superstar. If you take Trick Williams with him to the main roster, I think that helps. I don't think he necessarily needs him, but it gives him a little extra because he is a heel, and now he's got a manager who can help him cheat to win. It's a slam dunk for me. Love Carmelo Hayes. Again, think he's going to be a superstar. Another breakout in this match. All these guys are killing it. I really like Nathan Fraser personally. I think that guy's special. He
had some good spots.
The former Ben Carter on NXT UK. The match, the best of 3 series that he had with Axiom, who is a kid under a mask. Hope they take that mask off and reveal that it's a kid, because that kid's talented too. Those two are really going to do beautiful work. Your next match of the night, another gimmick match. Lots of gimmick matches,
but it was fun.
It was fun.
The Mandy Rose, Alba Fire, like the horror house was so good.
I want to talk about that in a minute. I definitely want to talk about it, but I do want to talk about right now. I do want to talk about the casket match. Spin the wheel, make the deal. Spin the wheel, make the deal. Apollo Crews and Grayson Waller. Great lead up to this story. Grayson Waller trying to blind Apollo Crews, hitting him in the eye and almost blinding him. These two going back and forth. They had a match on NXT where he injured the eye of Apollo again and, cheated to win. And now they have this casket match. And the Druids brought out the casket. Everything was good, spot after spot after spot. And Grayson slams Apollo Crews through the casket. And he thinks the match is over. And the
ref's like, well, you didn't close it.
Didn't close it. The lights go out, and now they've got him standing at the entryway, and the Druids are bringing in another casket, a bigger casket, almost like the one that they used in the Undertaker Yokozuna match at when was that? Survivor Series 100 years ago.
Didn't Undertaker fight like the Boogeyman in the very first casket match, like WrestleMania, like 1 or 2 or 3?
I'm not sure.
And the casket was like 4 feet across, like 4 feet deep. And you're like, well, and the guy was huge. It's like, well, only one person's going in that thing.
Yeah, they had a Yokozuna did a casket match with the Undertaker. I think Giant Gonzalez did a casket match with the Undertaker. Kane obviously did one.
Right.
I don't know. Shawn Michaels was in a casket match with the Undertaker. I think Randy Orton might have been in a casket match with the Undertaker. I don't know. There's been a few, but we should definitely do an episode on gimmick matches and highlight a lot of those matches. I think that would be a lot of fun.
That'd be super fun.
Top 5 favorite gimmick matches
next week or in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I like the casket match. I did think it went on too long. Like both Kate and I were kind of like, okay, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. I mean, other than that, like the wrestling was good. The fear of both wrestlers was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just, it was the Australian asshole versus Apollo Crews. Like, it was great.
Apollo Crews, who is Uha Nation from the Atlanta area, the greater Atlanta area. We love Uha. Our next match is another spin the wheel, make the deal gimmick match. This is your Weapons Wild match between Roxanne Perez and the Generation of Jade, Cora Jade. This one started. They were NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, and one night during Roxanne's title opportunity against Mandy Rose for the NXT Women's Championship, everything went to hell, and Cora Jade attacks Roxanne Perez, who then loses the match, hits her with a gimmick skateboard that breaks before she can even hit her with it, but that's another story. And that set up this whole, heel persona for Cora Jade, wearing, darker clothes, darker makeup, darker hair.
Right.
Justin, I think Justin might have said it. Says every time they turn a woman heel, they dress her in black clothes, and she's automatically so much more attractive to him. And maybe he's not wrong, but
I mean, it's getting goth doesn't mean you're looking bad.
Man, apparently.
I mean, yeah,
it's spooky season, man. People love that stuff. So, but now we've got Roxanne Perez, who is 20 years old, who has been the youngest world champion of any organization. 19 years old, she won the Ring of Honor Women of Honor Women's Championship. Big deal there. Lost that title in a unification battle with Deonna Purrazzo, one of those Impact Wrestling shows. But then she went on to NXT right away, and in my estimation, is probably going to be the breakout star of 2022.
Okay.
I mean, it's you could say that about just about anybody in NXT right now as far as breakout star, because Grayson Waller's fantastic, Cora's fantastic, but Roxanne Perez just has a spark, and being
go with it, girl. Do it.
Being as young as she is, trained by Booker T at his Reality of Wrestling school, would travel 6 hours to go by bus to go train in his place. She deserved this win, in my opinion. I think this closes the book on their rivalry, and now she can move on to bigger and better things. It sounds to me like when she was on SmackDown 2 weeks ago, wrestling with Shotzi and oh my God, I'm sorry, I drew a blank. The Raquel Rodriguez. I wanted to call her Reina Gonzalez so bad because that was her name in the Indies. But I couldn't think of Raquel Rodriguez. But when she teamed with them, management at SmackDown was like, wow, we need her on the main roster as soon as possible. So it may be one of those things where she does her goodbyes, a la Johnny Gargano, gets attacked, and then she's out the door. But we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
We'll touching on this one really quick, and then we'll get to me, one of the most fun matches of the night. This was Julius Creed and Damon Kemp in the ambulance match.
The ambulance match.
If Julius loses the match, Brutus Creed, his brother, would be gone from NXT forever.
Oh, I missed that stipulation. It was a fun match, though. Fun match.
Those guys really went hard, and great technical wrestling, great pure wrestling.
They went hard. How hard did they slam the door on the guy's freaking hands?
Oh my God!
Like 4 or 5 times. I'm like, how? I mean, it was great.
If you ever slammed your hand in a car door,
if you ever slam your hand in any door,
and I mean, you could have put a pad on the door or whatever, but come on, it's the gimmick match. Who knows? But I love the action of the match. I wish they would have done a few more things. To me, I feel like the match ran a little too short. It was only 14 minutes. But he hit him with a chair 10 times at the end of the match, put him on a gurney, clotheslined him from hell, a la JBL, which I love that move, by the way, and then just dumps him in the ambulance, and then it's over. And then Diamond Mine, Ivy Nile, and Brutus and Julius are always celebrating in the ring.
And then at that point, at that point, Kate chimes in because she's a former EMT. She's like, "That's not how things go in an ambulance." I'm like, "Oh my god, Kate, stop ruining it!
Stop ruining it! It's sports." You know what else isn't real? You know what else isn't real? Freaking DC Black Adam.
Hey,
which
I'm not watching. Hey, Dwayne Johnson is Kate's best friend. Okay, don't walk some thin ice there, Rob.
Well, Kate, get DJ on the show for us. I'd love to talk to old DJ. I mean, good dude.
Yeah.
Here's the match for me. This is my match of the night. Didn't last very long, but they stretched it out throughout the whole show. Mandy Rose, the champion, the 300-day plus champion, versus the former forever champion of NXT UK, the Scottish Fire goddess Kaylee Ray, now known as Alba Fire, which we love. This thing was great because they set up the vignette where she's at a haunted house, a spooky mansion, and she's
totally Scooby-Doo.
She's like, "Mandy, if you want to fate, meet me here tomorrow night." And I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm into this already.
Yeah, let's fight fire with fire. Like,
yeah, and I love the fact. And I love the fact that they do this at Halloween Havoc. I love these production-style matches.
They're cool.
I love
because you can take your time and do things you want to do and make spots hit because that didn't work. Let's shoot it again.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, before we really get more into that, big shout out to who I can only believe, Jeremy Borash. Who is the mastermind behind all of these theatrically productive matches. He is a producer for NXT. He's one of Triple H's guys. He was an on-air talent and a producer at Impact Wrestling and TNA several years ago. And, he lives down in Florida. So when his contract ended with them, he went over to NXT. And he's been doing this stuff ever since. He was involved in the Undertaker AJ Styles match at WrestleMania a couple of years ago, which was absolutely massive. One of my favorites.
Well, it took us such a cool page of that's something that you don't see in wrestling.
Yeah,
let's make a gimmicky horror movie.
Yeah, why not?
It's brilliant.
Why not? It checks so many boxes for me. It's wrestling, obviously. You got a little bit of horror, you got a little bit of gimmicky thing to it. You're keeping me interested in what you're doing.
Yep.
And I loved kind of all the silly little things like the knife coming out of the wall and all the people dressed up, and then they've got the tea party. They had the homage to the Munsters, the homage to the Addams Family, all the old horror films.
Well, they also paid homage to the Geico horror commercial?
Yeah.
They pull up let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Yes.
It was so good.
Yes. So, you take all of Toxic Attraction and you split them up, and then JC Jane's like, "Don't you guys watch horror movies? This never works." And so all these little stupid little things that just make it fun. It reminded me of many years ago when Evolution was going on in WWE, and they were doing their big thing, and then Ric Flair goes up on the top rope like he's going to land a double hammer fist, and of course, the whoever got him caught him and threw him off the top rope. And then you hear, and just before he gets tossed off the top rope, you hear Jerry Lawler say, "Damn it, Rick, that never works."
Well, it's it's like the Big Show back when he was wrestling all the time, doing the Vader bomb.
Yeah.
When does that ever work? I saw it work one time, and then he pinned the guy.
Right.
But
it worked for Vader.
Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, it works for no one else.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really, I hope they continue this feud. Mandy went over in the match over Alba Fire, who is an incredible worker in herself. And, Mandy has had this opportunity to really reinvent herself when she went back to NXT because, she was just kind of floundering on the roster. She did beat Sonya Deville, and Sonya Deville had to go away. But that was like the big thing. But, she never really had a shot at a title. And now in NXT, she's reinvented herself. She's got two great young talents around her, which is weird because I think she's only like 2 or 3 years older than either one of them. But now she gets the opportunity to say, "Hey, I've been a women's world champion for a year.
Yeah,
no one can take that away from me because I have been the best I have ever been in my career, and I've put over a tremendous amount of talent, and I've got these two, young wrestlers that are going to be stars because they were aligned with her."
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you think about when she was in WWE, that she was the gorgeous blonde that was strong, but like that was it. There was no. They never played into anything else other than like Mandy. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. Yeah. And her and Otis had a thing, but
that was some of her best work for me.
It was, but then like it was still like they're in love, and she's this gorgeous girl. And maybe I'm missing something. I'm sure I am, but now that she's in NXT, like it's like we're what was it? Paul Heyman's like heels and villains. They're so much better because they're so much more dynamic. Yeah. And when you can be evil, that's where the fun is. That's where you can do things that you want to do because then you would do something that no one likes. You're like, I fucking want to do it. So, because I and when you're a face, you got to stick to what you're good at, which is like John Cena. Like that's why he never turned heel. He was like, I have a reputation.
Yeah.
I can't shy away from it because so many kids look up to him, and like I get that. I respect that.
It's so hard to be a babyface.
Yeah.
In pro wrestling right now. Because everybody knows it's crap. Everybody knows it's BS. Because these superhero style ultra vanilla guys, we love
ultra
John
vanilla
Cena.
Keywords.
Huh?
Ultra vanilla keywords.
Yeah, we love John Cena, but it's just like, I feel like
he's never going to change.
I feel like he's never going to change. And I feel like if he weren't such a decent dude and all the Make-A-Wish stuff and all that stuff, that people wouldn't care as much about him.
No.
As
and
they do.
Just so before that man holds the world record.
World record, which is absolutely wonderful to me. I think it's delightful.
For the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Like,
yeah.
Dude, the man is a saint.
Over 1,000 wishes.
1,000?
Over 1,000.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like, I mean, you can't say anything bad about John Cena. You can't. You can't.
No.
You can't. And it's like when he was doing Peacemaker, and he was showing up to all the premiere events in the Peacemaker costume. He was showing up on Jimmy Kimmel and the Peacemaker guy. Like, like you
he's happy to be there, man. Like he's so into it.
He's so happy to be there. He's having the time of his life in his mid-40s. He doesn't give a damn. He is just having a good old ass time. He gets to do whatever he wants. He's making ass tons of money. He's happy. He's got a lovely wife, lovely homes everywhere. I mean, dude,
and he's still doing Make-A-Wish stuff. Like
still doing Make-A-Wish stuff because like
he's a good freaking guy.
Why don't you marry him, Ryan?
You know what? If he got down on one knee, you're damn right I'm going to say yes. We'll figure something out. Kate will understand.
Kate will understand. Is Kate there right now?
She's not, actually. I wish she was.
You kept looking over. You kept looking over at the thing. I figured maybe she was there.
No. Yeah, it's yeah. We would figure an arrangement between me, my husband John Cena, and then my side piece Kate.
Oh my God. So Alba Fire, great talent. We love her. We want to see her succeed in NXT. Mandy Rose, loved seeing Mandy Rose. She makes bad good, man. She's crushing it. They're both crushing it. Final, the main.
Well, hang on that last point. What was the line that Jessica Rabbit says in Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I'm not bad. I was just drawn that way.
I'm just drawn this way. Mandy Rose right there, man. She's like, I am bad, and I am drawn this way.
Yeah, Mandy Rose.
That was good.
Final match of the night. All these gimmick matches. Every single gimmick match. This was the least gimmicked of all the matches. This was a triple threat match for the NXT Championship. We have champion Braun Breaker, the son of Rick Steiner, nephew of Scott Steiner, versus Ilya Dragunov and J.D. McDonough, formerly Jordan Devlin of NXT UK.
Are we not talking about, life-size Tyrion Lannister?
Yeah, we can go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life-size Peter Dinklage? I'm sorry, dude. Like,
we can go with that.
You need to change the haircut. You need to put in some big boy pants.
Yeah.
And you need to work some more leg day.
So, jeez, I feel like I'm being attacked. So one of the things that I really love about this whole scenario, we all know that Braun is going to get called up sooner than later.
I was expecting that. I was expecting him to drop the title.
Yeah, I kind of was thinking that too, but I'll reserve why I think he's not going to drop it yet for just a few more minutes. Ilya Dragunov is very special. JD McDonough is very special because these are two little guys that just they're believable and as workers, as wrestlers, and they put on a clinic. And the true measure of a great pro wrestler is how you can make your opponent look like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And those guys made Braun look like gold.
That's why I love pro wrestling. It's physical improv. You want to know my most disappointing moment of the match?
Yo.
So since I don't normally watch NXT, my most disappointed moment of the match was when I found out Braun's finisher was the spear.
Yeah.
And I've talked before. The spear is devastating. The lungs, the ribcage collapse around the lungs. Can't breathe. You're out. But it's like choosing the rocket launcher playing Halo. They're gonna run around just nuking everybody super easy. It's the super weapon that requires no finesse. When a guy who's as built and strong as Braun, where you could do something like Goldberg's jackhammer or something like that, and then you choose the spear, as effective and lethal as it is, it is running around with a rocket launcher and Halo or the BFG 9000 and Doom or, the whatever and the laser beam in Half-Life.
Nice callback to Doom, by the way. Great
dude.
Game. Great game.
Grew up on Doom. Yeah.
Same. Loved it. I remember being in like 6th grade and we had those old Macintosh beat to hell computers, and we had one super nice one in the corner, like really, really nice one. And all these kids wanted to play Snood on the damn nice computer. And then I just snuck in the CD of Doom, and I'm just like over there playing, killing demons and shit. People like, what's going on? Went to a private Christian school. Like, okay. Are you playing this? Oh no!
And they're all English.
Awesome.
Okay.
Everybody's like, what's he doing?
Dude, Doom was the first game. Like, I'm not playing that in the dark.
Like, no shit.
It was just
no kidding.
They're so pixelated, but they're gonna haunt my dreams.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I love how heels do heel stuff. So Ilya Dragunov hits his finisher on the Torpedo Moscow on Braun. 1, 2, JD slides in the ring, just the hands going out for 3.
Stops
he grabs the referee's hand. He's like, no, you're not counting this. You're not counting this. And then Ilya just gets pissed. I mean, I love those little things. Braun hit his finisher on Ilya. JD throws Braun out of the ring after a 1 count. He gets on and tries for a pinning combination. and then he's just frustrating the shit out of these guys, and he's not getting his satisfaction. So, I mean, it's great to see. It's great to see a young talent like Braun continuing to run his race. I like it. I think it's great. I head and shoulders above all. I think this was a great show. But the one thing that we did not talk about yet that happened at Halloween Havoc, and I don't know if you caught this or not, but there was a vignette that was played, and it was a fire burning, and somebody dropped a mask down into the fire.
I missed it.
Okay, so were you watching Raw during the pandemic?
No.
Okay.
Because that's literally when I started watching AEW.
That's fine. So during the pandemic, you had this group called Retribution. And
Were the guys that like took over the set and like caused power to go out and things like that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I remember seeing them.
It was 3 guys and a woman, and they had somebody who was it ended up Mustafa Ali ended up being revealed as their leader down the road. But
right, I remember that.
4 masked men. You had Slapjack, who was Shane Thorne, who was part of TMDK. You had Mace, who is now on SmackDown as Mace. And then you had I think her name was like Retaliation or some shit like that. Anyway, it was Mia Yim. And then you had a guy named T-Bar, who T-Bar was Dominic Dijakovic in NXT, who is one of the best big guys in the industry, who used to work against my man Keith Lee. They had some bangers back in NXT in 2018 and 19.
Well, dude, I saw Keith Lee do a jump spinning crescent kick a couple weeks ago in AEW. I was like, wow.
Dude's a stud. But
That is
anyway,
a stud move.
But anyway, T-Bar had the mask. Well, anyway, dude, there's a fire. Dude drops the mask into the fire, and by my estimation, that's going to be Dominic Dijakovic coming back to NXT, and I couldn't be more excited because I knew Dominic back in Ring of Honor.
Okay.
When he was just Dijak.
Cool.
And he's from Massachusetts. Great wrestler, 6'5" or 6'6". Dude's a machine, and he does all of the things. Like, you know, he's just agile. He's quick. He's fast. He and Keith Lee. If you ever get a chance to watch Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic in NXT, their 3 matches were just bangers. They just incredible work. This guy who deserves all the flowers in the world as a wrestler. They put him in a gimmick that was just destined to fail on Raw, and now after sitting for 2 years, they're going to bring this guy back to NXT, and he's just going to be a badass. And for me, if you're going to put the belt on anybody, that's my guy. If you're going to beat Braun Breaker,
are you making a prediction?
I'm not making a prediction.
Should we make this a wager?
Yeah, why not? $5?
I think it should be more serious than that. I think it should be like a shave the head or mohawk or shave the beard.
Nah.
What?
I'm not that crazy.
Oh, okay.
I'm not writing the show. But if I'm booking NXT for the next 4 to 6 months, I would like to see Dominic Dijakovic defeat Braun Breaker for the title. I think the guy deserves,
and put him over to WWE,
and then have Braun debut at the Rumble the next night.
That would be okay. That would be appropriate.
That's what I would do.
And that's the thing. That's why I love the Rumble, man. Like, you can create so many stories in just this one match. Yeah. Because, you know, all of a sudden one person puts over somebody, they put over somebody else, and then all of a sudden people start watching.
Yeah.
And then, like, oh, they put over a third and a fourth. And it's like, whoa, hold on. I didn't know that they were working out. I didn't know they were doing push-ups, you know, in the morning and at night or whatever, eating, bricks for breakfast.
Yeah.
It's the Rumble is the most unique element of wrestling match there is to me.
It's my favorite gimmick match, no question.
Yep.
Hands down.
Yeah. And the best part is there's always 30 wrestlers, or is it 20?
30. The first Rumble
30.
in 1988 had 20. They did one.
I mean, let's just
that had 40, but lately it's been 30.
Let's do 40. But let's give the guys a break. You can always tell all the wrestlers are getting tired. And it's we're bringing out Jimmy Snuka and Roddy Piper, who are going to go in, they're going to brawl, and they're literally going to pull each other out for 30 seconds. And it's going to be great. It's going to be a huge spot. R.I.P. Roddy Piper.
I miss Roddy Piper. I'll tell you about Roddy someday.
Yeah.
What a sweet man.
Yeah. But no, that's you can do so many things with the Rumble. Because the rules are so unique. And and I think we could end with this of when I watched Stone Cold and Vince McMahon leave the Rumble for an hour, the Rumble happens and they return it's not over yet. And then Vince McMahon won. And then since he conceded, then Austin won. It was brilliant. But those are some of the best days of wrestling there was.
Edge winning the Rumble, Nakamura winning the Rumble.
Yep.
Batista and John Cena tumbling out, and then Vince blowing out both knees. Luger and Bret Hart winning the Rumble to get hitting the floor at the same time, and then having those two battle it out for the title at WrestleMania 10.
And then even Shawn Michaels and Davey Boy Smith, that was the year, that was the rise of Shawn Michaels year.
Yeah.
Because that concluded in the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels Iron Man match, correct?
Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe you're right.
Okay.
That might be right. I think we need. I need to go back and look at that, but I think you might be right.
Okay.
But man, what a great show.
That was fun, dude.
That was fun.
Justin, come back next week, man. I hope you feel better.
Well, my glass is officially empty.
I re-poured my glass. If you watched the video, I think I did pretty. This is rum. Damn it.
Live show, folks. Live show.
Yeah, live show. This is Diplomatico rum.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Delicious.
This is the Old Forester. This is pretty good.
Old Forester solid.
I'm enjoying it. Well,
but all right, guys. Until next week.
Happy wrestling, everybody.
Happy wrestling. Rob, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
And happy Halloween, my friend.
Happy Halloween.
See you guys next week.
Oh, well, hang on. Are we all going to Justin's Halloween party next week?
When is that? What is
Saturday?
I know it's Saturday, but what time?
I'm assuming he's going to be going all night.
Okay.
Seems like he's that type of guy.
Yeah.
He ain't going to end early.
No, God, no. He's been doing that house for days. So
yeah, it's going to go till Sunday night. Start Saturday night, 24 hours.
Yeah, it's going to go. It's going to go Saturday night till Monday morning at 6 when everybody has to.
I hope. We will all be dead. We will be the lawn ornaments on his lawn.
Happy Halloween, everybody, and happy wrestling. I'm Rob.
Happy Halloween.
Ryan. Good night.
Good night.